Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming out. My name's Smokey Thomas, and I'm president of OPSEU, the Ontario Public Service Employees Union. And joining me today is Miranda Ferrier, president of the Ontario Personal Support Worker Association. And it's fitting that Miranda and I are co-hosting this news conference. As many of you will know, today, Friday, May 19th, is Personal Support Worker Day in Ontario, a day to pay tribute to more than 100,000 PSWs in our province. PSWs, our personal support workers, are part of a network of heavy lifters in the healthcare system, and now we have a day to recognize all of their hard work. As our population ages and life expectancy increases, the skills and dedications of PSWs will play an increasingly important role in the health and well-being of all of us. On behalf of OPSEU, I salute the thousands of PSWs who always put in a hard day's work without nearly the level of recognition or pay they justly deserve. In last month's provincial budget, Finance Minister Charles Sousa announced the creation of Personal Support Workers Education and Training Facility. And so far, so good. OPSEU supports providing PSWs with all the training and ongoing education they need to provide the best possible service to their clients. It's how this training is being done that badly fails the smell test. And that's in page 60 of the Liberal budget, and I quote, "The Government of Ontario will work with SEIU Healthcare to explore options around the creation of a training program and facility for the ongoing skills development of personal support workers, PSWs, who are critical in the delivery of home care services across the province." End the quote. So just for a moment, let's think about that. So this Liberal government has entered into a cozy arrangement with one union, SEIU, Service Employees International, and that's to launch this new facility. The government has chosen one union to provide training instead of leaving it where it belongs, within our community college system. The government has made it clear that SEIU, and only SEIU, will be its partner in this new venture. This conveniently ignores the fact that healthcare workers comprise more than one-third of OPSEU's 130,000 members, and I can tell you healthcare workers are probably 40 or 50% of CUPE's membership, and it should be the PSWs, not the government, that make the choice of where they get their training. OPSEU has several problems with this unholy alliance between the Liberal Party and SEIU. First, the training of PSWs should be the responsibility of Ontario's well-respected public colleges, where graduates will enjoy certification free of collusion between the government and an outside organization with few roots in healthcare. Second, any union that has been awarded this one-of-a-kind special government-recognized role in creating this facility will enjoy an unfair advantage when it comes to recruiting new members, both those who are currently unrepresented and those who may already belong to a union. The government has no business choosing one union above others. The government could have invited all unions that represent PSWs in Ontario to participate in this process, but it deliberately chose not to do so. I believe that is because the Director of Government Relations at SEIU Healthcare, his name is Michael Spitali, Mr. Spitali also happens to be the President of the Liberal Party of Ontario. Public sector unions that are directly funded by the government lose their unfettered ability to defend the interests of their public sector members. This move does not benefit PSWs. It fits the Liberals' government's pattern of cooking up schemes and backroom deals where they're shielded from transparency and public oversight. A few years back, OPSEU published a document titled, "It's in Their DNA." That detailed this toxic behavior of the Liberal Party. You can find it in our website. In it, we painstakingly expose the pervasive web of family and other connections between the Liberal Party and the corporations they enrich with lucrative government contracts. The deal between SEIU and the Liberal Party fits this pattern to a T. I have written to Chris Buckley, President of the Ontario Federation of Labour, asking him for his position, and in my correspondence I wrote, and I quote, "If this kind of unethical behavior goes unchecked and uncensored, the government will only grow bolder in its ambition to undermine the influence of unions in this province by fostering corruption, division, and turmoil within the labor movement. This must not be allowed to happen." I end the quote. Thanks for listening to me. I'll take questions after Miranda speaks. Over to you, sis.
Thank you very much, Smokey. Good morning again. My name is Miranda Ferry. I'm the president of the Ontario Personal Support Workers Association, but I am also a personal support worker who is specialized in mental health. Our association currently represents over 24,000 personal support workers in the province of Ontario, and I could not be happier to be sitting here with Mr. Smokey himself. Today is Personal Support Worker Day. It's a day to recognize the many contributions that we, PSWs, make each and every day in the lives of thousands of people across Ontario. We are in every sector of healthcare, from long-term care homes, hospitals, boards of education, and most importantly, we are honored to be invited into our patients' homes. In many cases, we are part of your families, and we care for your loved ones as if they were one of our own. The work we do can be thankless, but today I am offering that thanks on behalf of families, patients, and your fellow PSWs for your dedication to your profession. I thank each and every one of you personally because as a PSW, I share your struggles and challenges intimately. That is why I have dedicated myself to standing up for the rights of PSWs, to holding this government accountable, and for demanding that our chosen profession be entitled to receive the same standards and respect afforded to so many other professions. OPSWA is a membership-driven organization that has been lobbying the Wynne Liberals for the past 2 years for governance for PSWs. And now, for the second time in 2 years, we find ourselves standing in opposition to a government that clearly is out of touch and refuses to listen to what PSWs are telling them. We are more than numbers on a failed registry. We are more than minimum wage workers for this government to exploit. And we will not stand idly by while this government continues to give our patients, residents, and their families a false sense of security about who they let into their homes. We have too much integrity to allow our profession to be manipulated, and our work is too great, even if this government doesn't agree. The 2017 Liberal budget fails personal support workers by introducing a mandatory PSW registry. With this announcement, the government is pursuing a course of action that they failed at so miserably only 1 year ago. The registry opened and closed within 3 years, and that failure cost Ontarians over $5 million. $5 million and shut down in 3 years. That is not a track record of respect for PSWs, the individuals in PSW care, or for taxpayers everywhere. And add insult to injury. The Liberals have announced a $250 million training facility for PSWs that would be awarded to their insider friends. To anyone who understands our profession, this announcement is ludicrous and unnecessary. Our association was instrumental in working with the National Association of Career Colleges on their PSW curriculum to ensure that PSWs met the provincial standard. We have also dedicated ourselves to collaborating with the Home Hospice Association and Conestoga College to establish specialized PSW streams that can and will be easily adopted by Ontario's professional and community colleges. We have spent hours developing these specialized streams and curriculum to ensure that it represented the diversity of environments and tasks PSWs are exposed to. More importantly, Ontario has community and professional colleges with locations across our province that are accessible to PSWs wherever they live. Spending $250 million on a single training center in one major city clearly disadvantages PSWs who live in Northern Ontario and any of our smaller and rural communities. Again, this is the wrong way forward and doesn't benefit personal support workers. So we can't help but ask, who does the government think they're supporting? We will never forget that this is the same government that couldn't and still can't find their way to ensuring that PSWs working in the public home care sector across Ontario received the long-promised wage enhancement. It's time for this government to start listening to the voices of PSWs and stop telling us what we need. We know what supports we need to do our jobs, and we know that we are the backbone of health and community care sectors. But when will this government start listening to PSWs instead of their Liberal Party friends? That's the real question. PSWs, residents, patients, and Ontario families deserve to know that the PSW profession is appropriately governed, that it has an established standards of care, that their education is verified, that national police checks are conducted, and to have photo identification that gives families a true sense of security about who is taking care of their loved ones. At the association, We have already created a system that does just that. We have met with more than 50% of MPPs here at Queen's Park, and not one has been able to find fault with our proposal for governance. So why is the government refusing to meet or consult with PSWs before they make major announcements about our profession? We know the truth, and now so do you all. But I leave you with this. PSWs across the province refuse to allow their profession and our profession to be reduced to a political game by anyone. Thank you.